Good morning again, everybody. Welcome to Yankee Stadium and welcome to New York City. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, again, we welcome you. We appreciate you coming out here and under the circumstances, but this is football weather. We're going to get going right away with things, so let me introduce the members of our dais this morning. Beginning on my far right is the Notre Dame Athletic Director, Mr. Jack Swarbrick. Head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Mr. Brian Kelly. Head coach of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Mr. Kyle Flood. Rutgers Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Ms. Julie Hermann. To my immediate left now, New York Yankees President, Mr. Randy Levine. New York Yankees Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Lon Trost. Executive Director of the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, Mr. Mark Holtzman. And New Era VP of North American Sales, Mr. Bill Adams. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Before I turn things over to Randy, I'd like to recognize somebody in the crowd today, our first guest, Mr. Donald Douglas, the Executive Director of the Public Schools Athletic League. Donald, thank you for being here and welcome. Donald has a big day today. Today at 5 p.m. here at Yankee Stadium, Lincoln High School of Brooklyn, New York will take on Tottenville High School of Staten Island in the PSAL football championship game. So good luck with that later, Donald, and appreciate you coming here again. Now let me turn things over to Randy Levine. Randy?
Thanks, Kenny. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're here, Coach. Glad you overcame the obstacles in New York City and you made it, but that's the Fighting Irish spirit. I had no doubt whatsoever. We're really excited to announce this matchup between Notre Dame and Rutgers for the fourth Pinstripe Bowl. This is really going to be an incredible game. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. There's nothing you can say. You know, the most legendary football program in the United States. Rutgers making their second appearance here in the Pinstripe Bowl to add a little local flavor. And Julie, Coach, glad you came through Saturday night. It's important. So we're really excited. Jack, thank you very much. I know, as always, you had a lot of options, and for you to pick us, we're really gratified. And we have a great working relationship with Notre Dame. When they played here a couple of years ago, it was one of the signature events of the new Yankee Stadium. The Pinstripe Bowl, this will be our fourth year. The game gets better and better every single year. We've averaged about 40,000 people. We get great television ratings, and this year I think we're going to set the mark to make it even better. I want to, as I always do, acknowledge New Era, our title sponsor. New Era and the Yankees go back a long time. The Koch family and the Steinbrenner family have a long history together, and when we sought to seek a title sponsor for this game, the first people we called were New Era, and they've delivered every step of the way. We have two people here. You'll hear from Bill Adams. Where's Bill in a little bit? Who's the New Era North American Manager of Sales, and Gary Borkowski, New Era Sponsorship Manager. Gary, are you here? I can't see. There you are. Welcome. So I wanted to thank all of you for coming, and we're really excited. We got a little snow, football weather here, and it's going to be a great time for football and other events in New York City. As you know, we're going to have the Pinstripe Bowl. Then we have the hockey games here at Yankee Stadium, and then the Super Bowl. So this is going to be kickoff of a great time. As I've also said many times, there's no better place to be than New York City during the holiday season between Christmas and New Year's. This is the place, they make movies and shows about and write songs about this time of year. No one else. So welcome. Rutgers, Notre Dame, thank you so much for being here, and it's my pleasure to introduce Lon Trost, our COO. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Actually, I was asked to keep this short, as I understand that we're a little bit rushed for time. Keeping things short is generally a problem for me, but let me briefly introduce, from the New York Yankees, Mike Tusiani, who's a Senior VP of Corporate Sales and Sponsorship, and Emily Hamel, who's the New Era Pinstripe Bowl director. Brian Smith was to be here also. I don't think there he is in the back. Without Brian, Michael, and Emily, Pinstripe Bowl just doesn't happen. So again, thank you. The fourth New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Following 3 remarkable games, we're thrilled and fortunate to have Notre Dame and Rutgers. Rutgers with its local following, and Notre Dame with both a national and local following. It's great to welcome the coaches and athletic directors of Rutgers University and the University of Notre Dame. And you might remember the last time Rutgers played here, I mentioned that my daughter-in-law is a graduate of Rutgers, that I lived in New Jersey most of my life, in close proximity to all the Rutgers campuses. And actually, for those who know, I survived the grease trucks. But I didn't mention, because I couldn't, what happened Saturday evening. See, Saturday evening, I went over to a local steakhouse, Steak 85 in New Brunswick, and waited all evening for Coach Flood to return my call so I could extend the formal invitation for this year's Pinstripe Bowl. Coach, don't worry. Maddie wrote over 2 bottles of wine. We sat there, watched the game, and toasted your victory and your invitation. Now, I know a little bit more about Rutgers than Notre Dame. So, Coach Kelly, I'm really not that familiar with the history of Notre Dame. For instance, I'm not familiar with the Fighting Irish. I'm not familiar with the fact that Notre Dame Stadium holds just under 81,000. I'm not familiar with the fact that Notre Dame's first game was in 1887, but its first victory was in 1888. I'm not familiar with the fact that Notre Dame has 7 Heisman Trophy winners, including Angelo Bertelli, Johnny Lujack, Leon Hart, Johnny Latner, Paul Horning, John Uritt, and Tim Brown. I'm not familiar with the fact that John Uritt was selected by the Jets in the '65 draft, along with Joe Namath, even though Joe Namath came in 11th in the voting for the Heisman. I'm not familiar with the fact that Notre Dame has 96 All-Americans. I'm not familiar with the fact that more football players were drafted by the NFL and AFL from Notre Dame than any other college or university in the United States. I have no familiarity with Rockne, Frank Leahy, Ara Precision, Dan Devine, Jerry Faust, Lou Holtz, Charlie Weiss, and of course, Coach Kelly. I'm not familiar with the fact that Notre Dame has been in 32 bowls. And I'm certainly not familiar with the fact that Hydrographics paints 23.9 karat gold on the helmet of Notre Dame players each game. So I do know a little bit about Notre Dame. But as to move this along, let me again reiterate and say how proud we are to have 2 great universities with 2 great sets of student athletes playing Yankee Stadium in the 2013 New Era Pinstripe Bowl. Coach, athletic directors, thank you so much.
Thank you. My honor to introduce the athletic director of Notre Dame, Jack Swarbrick. Jack, thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Thank you very much. Thanks very much to the Yankees and to New Era and to everyone involved. We are thrilled to be here today and are thrilled at the prospect of returning shortly to play in this great game. Sometimes things feel preordained in a sense. I mean, you work real hard to achieve a certain result and you wind up at a place, and when you get there you say, you know, this was meant to be, this is perfect. And everything about this opportunity feels that way to Notre Dame. First of all, we are thrilled to be able to play Rutgers, a university for which we have great admiration, but a university that was a great partner for us in the Big East for so many years. The winds of conference realignment have blown us in different directions, and so it's really nice to be able to celebrate that partnership and that relationship through this game on sort of one final time. I'm sure there'll be opportunities in the future to play each other again, but we have this one in front of us right now, and we want to take advantage of it to sort of celebrate our relationship with Rutgers over all those years. Secondly, it's special for us to come to New York. It's special for us because we have such a great following here, but also because we have so many great memories. This is an important year for Notre Dame football because it marks the 100th anniversary of the first great team and the first great game in our history. November 1st of 1913, Notre Dame beat Army in New York, effectively introduced the forward pass to college football, and changed the trajectory of not just our program, but our university forever. And so on that 100th anniversary, to be back in New York to celebrate that is very special for us. And finally, when you approach this opportunity annually, as Julie does and as we do, the first question you ask yourself is, what's best for our student athletes? What's the most significant opportunity we can present to them under the circumstances of this year? That was an easy call for us. Because if you talk to the juniors and seniors on our team and you say, what sticks out in your memory of your time playing for us? I guarantee you one of those memories will be our game in Yankee Stadium against Army. A magic night a few years ago that just was such a special atmosphere that made such an impact on our young people. And so to come back again and have that same experience, to do it over an extended week-long period of time where they can really enjoy America's greatest city, take full advantage of it, all of that combines for us to create a very special opportunity. So thanks so much to our partners at the Yankees, great partners to Notre Dame in so many ways, for making this opportunity available to us. We are excited to be here, and we'll do our best to be great participants for you. Thank you very much.
Coach Kelly, want to come up and say a few words, please?
Well, I too want to echo the sentiments that have been displayed by Jack. I first want to say that, playing Rutgers for us at Notre Dame also brings another thing to light, and that is two universities that show great graduation rates. So when we're putting together a schedule and we're looking for opponents, I think you're looking for those that have quality graduation rates as well. And we respect the fact that Rutgers has high graduation rates, as we do. I think we have two here that are going to boast high graduation rates in playing in a bowl game as well. And that's very important. When we got a chance to look at the opposition in this game, we wanted to have somebody that has a like-mindedness when it comes to quality academics and student athletes and the commitment to them. And Coach Flood and the administration at Rutgers has recognized that, and so that's a great partnership for us. Also, you want to get the attention of your players, and many have looked at their schedule, and they hold a win over an SEC opponent in Arkansas this year. Played an incredible game early in the year against Fresno State, so it's an opponent that gets our players' attention as well, and certainly that long-standing relationship in the Big East. So it was easy to get our players' attention in terms of playing Rutgers, so we're really, really excited about this matchup when it comes to playing Rutgers. As for the bowl itself, I think it starts with certainly the Yankees and the organization. I particularly want to thank Mark Holtzman, who has been at the forefront here. Randy, he has done an incredible job of putting this together. And John Mosley. John Mosley does not take no for an answer. I think Mark gave him a charge to come to South Bend.
And not leave.
And not leave. He did not leave. But what is really evident from our players is that when we got a chance to play here a couple of years ago, we are playing in an iconic stadium. And we are playing a bowl game that is being organized by one of the greatest sports franchises in the history of athletics. And we recognize that. And so our players are energized by the fact that we're playing in a bowl game that has that kind of leadership. So, we're not talking about a bowl game that doesn't bring that kind of cachet to the table. So, again, when we're talking about standing in front of your group and your players and you're talking about the Pinstripe Bowl, who's organizing it? Who's putting it together? It's the Yankees, and the class and the organization of the Yankees make this a great bowl game for us. Also, geographics. New York City, It is a great area to be. As Randy mentioned, Christmas time for our kids to be here in the city. Again, our roster represents the entire country. We have players from all over the country. Very few are from the South Bend area code. They're from California and Tennessee and Florida, New Mexico. For them to be able to come to New York City, they're pretty excited about it. So Christmas time in New York City, that is a reward for our football team that they're really, really excited about. And for our alumni and for our Subway alum that are here, an opportunity to see Notre Dame football in this part of the country is very, very exciting as well. So all of those things together make for us this being a great destination for us during the bowl season. I think in terms of where we are as a football team, getting a chance to play another game in front of our fans, in front of obviously good football fans, is something that we're really, really excited about. So again, on behalf of our football players and our support staff and all of our coaches, we're really excited to be here, be part of the Pinstripe Bowl, and excited for a great matchup with Rutgers. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Jack. I really appreciate it. You'll hear from Mark Holtzman, the Executive Director of the Pinstripe Bowl, in a little bit. But let me point out Johnny Mosley, who played for Notre Dame, who's an integral part of Mark's staff. Say hello, Johnny. Wave. All right. That's good. We won't tell him what the record in Notre Dame was when you were playing. All right. It's my honor now to introduce the Athletic Director of Rutgers, Julie Hermann. Julie.
Thank you and good morning. I can't say it any more eloquently than Jack did or Coach Kelly. On behalf of Rutgers University, we're absolutely thrilled to be here. We want to thank the New Era Pinstripe for selecting us. They could have selected a lot of teams, and Notre Dame, we really appreciate your support of that because we're super excited to be in our backyard but be in New York City. It's a big deal for us to be here. It's a fantastic, as Jack said and Coach Kelly, a fantastic experience for the student athlete to be in the Pinstripe. Our Rutgers players are thrilled to get here, and we too are glad we muscled it out Saturday night for the opportunity to be here. And so we're really looking forward to it, and again, are really grateful to be here, and really thank Coach Flood for finding a way to get that game won and get us to the city so that the kids could have a chance to train and go at it and compete for it. And as you know, we head into the Big Ten next fall. And this gives us an opportunity to really regroup and take a hard, long look at ourselves, at how we can improve and what we can do. And so the Pinstripe really gives us a chance to set that in motion. And most of all, it is a great privilege to be playing an institution of the academic reputation of Notre Dame. Both these institutions are phenomenal academic institutions. We're both concentrated on our graduation rates and our GPAs, and I'm really excited for the men of both these teams to have a chance to be in New York City who are of the same philosophy. We do want to compete. We want to stand for the highest ideals that student athletes can stand for, and so that's, as Coach Kelly said, why it's really important to us that we have a chance to play in this game in this city at this time against this phenomenal football program. Thanks.
Coach Flood?
I had a few things. Thank you to everybody for coming today. On behalf of our football program, let me just thank Randy and Lon and Mark and John and really the entire Yankee organization that has been a great friend and a great partner in so many ways to our program over the years. This is, for a football program where we pride ourselves on trying to do everything to be the class of college football in every way, on and off the field, to be associated one more time in a bowl game with really the classiest organization in all of professional sports is truly a privilege and an honor for us. New York City speaks for itself. You know, I grew up in this city. It was a dream come true for me to coach a football game in Yankee Stadium as an assistant coach, and now to do it as a head football coach in a bowl game against a coach the caliber of Coach Kelly, who has won on every level that he's been on, a national championship level coach and an institution, a college football program that is one of the legendary college football programs in the history of college athletics. This is a dream come true for me and an experience that I'm really looking forward to. But more importantly than what I'm looking forward to, our team is looking forward to it. And I think they played like that last Saturday night. You know, our team was well aware of the finality that could have ensued had that game not gone the way that it did, and I thought they performed like it. We played our most complete game. Now we have something that we can build on through the bowl season, through the practice season, to take a young football team with 18 first and second year players playing a significant role and move them to the next level and come out and compete against Notre Dame on the 28th. I want to thank Bill from New Era. We remember them as a partner from the last time we were here in the bowl game, and how much our players and our staff enjoyed what they provided for us at the game. And I would leave you on this note. I don't know. I heard Mr. Swarbrick say that this game was preordained, and to have a head football coach at Rutgers University who grew up in New York City and a Yankee fan, and to have a head football coach at Notre Dame who grew up in Massachusetts, and there is a baseball team in Massachusetts that people in New York are not generally fond of. I don't know that there could be a better matchup here in the Pinstripe Bowl on the 28th. Thank you to everybody for coming. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our two AD guests will have to leave any second now, so we're going to break for the photo ops. Everybody on the dais, if you can please stand, and we'll stay for the photo ops here.
I want to thank the Steinbrenner family for putting this on, and when we built this stadium, the boss really loved college football, and he would be so proud looking out today to see these two universities. My honor now to introduce the Vice President of North American Sales for our title sponsor, New Era, Bill Adams.
Thank you, Randy. It truly is an honor for me to represent New Era here today. Obviously, having a storied program like Notre Dame enter the family this year for the Pinstripe Bowl, and of course having the local flavor of Rutgers come to town is really something special. I'd like to congratulate both teams on outstanding, solid seasons here. It's an incredible matchup, and I think the fans are really going to have a special day on the 28th of December. Obviously, we've talked already about the traditions of Notre Dame, and obviously, when you look at what's going on at Rutgers as well and entering into the Big Ten, it's also a very special time for them and their programs. So the Pinstripe Bowl continues to bring together the teams that I think really speak to a few key words that I think you've heard ring true already in some of the speeches already, and that meaning two special academic programs as well as being terrific athletic programs. So on behalf of New Era, I'd like to extend thanks to the coaching staff, obviously the two ADs that had to leave, but particularly, of course, Coach Kelly and Coach Flood, and joining us at New Era, this year, and hosting all your talented scholar athletes here in the wonderful city of New York. And in 4 short years, I think truly the New Era Pinstripe Bowl has quickly become a marquee event. And we look forward to this event continuing to rise as we move forward into this year. And I'd also like to thank the entire Yankee organization, starting at the top with the Steinbrenner family, obviously with Randy, and of course with Lon, Michael Tusiano, who's been a real advocate for us, and of course, Mark Holtzman, who has done a tremendous job putting this together, with his team. So on behalf of New Era and all their employees around the globe, I want to wish everybody a happy and a healthy holiday season, and want them all to know that we're truly looking forward to a tremendous day on December 28th. And please, once again, make sure you tune in. I think we're expecting, and I would suggest you to get here early if you are, because I think we're going to break attendance records this year with these two teams coming together. So between that, and as Randy mentioned already, with the TV ratings continue to rise every year, I think it's going to be an outstanding contest. So thanks again. Enjoy the holidays. Best of luck to everyone, and I'll turn it back over to Randy. Thank you, Randy.
The New Era Pinstripe Bowl wouldn't have made the great strides that it's made without the great effort, tireless effort of our executive director, Mark Holtzman. And he worked tirelessly to put this together. So it's my pleasure and honor to bring up Mark Holtzman, the executive director of the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. And Mark, job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Excuse me if I reflect for a few minutes. Over 30 years ago, I was one of the first employees at a startup footwear company named Reebok that had a pipe dream to go from virtual bankruptcy to surpassing Nike and Adidas. My boss, Paul Fireman, told me three things: work hard, dream harder, and pray even harder. I did all three, and within 5 years, we had actually surpassed both Nike and Adidas in U.S. sales. When I started at the Yankees 5 years ago, I had another dream, amongst many, to make the new Era Pinstripe Bowl into one of the premier bowls in the country. And one day, to have my ultimate dream matchup. Rutgers, the school that I grew up about 20 minutes from and followed closely in sports since the mid-'70s when Fast Eddie Jordan, James Bailey, Hollis Copeland, and Phil Sellers almost shocked the world and won the NCAA basketball tournament. And of course, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, whose football team, along with the Yankees, are without a doubt the two most storied organizations in sports. Before I get into all the exciting events that we're going to have during Bowl Week, I want to thank a few people without whose support the New Era Pinstripe Bowl would never be where it was today. This was a little bit of a difficult year in that, we had the Big 12, who a few weeks ago did not qualify a team. Rutgers, thank God, qualified on the final weekend with just a superior effort, Coach Flood. You got your team up for the game, and they played beautifully. But I want to thank a few people. First of all, he just left, but Jack Swarbrick. Jack and I have known each other for only 5 years, but I consider him both a friend and a mentor. When we first met through a mutual friend 5 years ago, Jack immediately saw the potential of playing football at Yankee Stadium, and on very short notice, switched his Army game on 1 year notice from Soldier Field to Yankee Stadium in order to be the first football team back at the new Yankee Stadium. And what a day it was. I've been to a lot of Super Bowls in my day, but this was as magical as any of them. Over the years, I've called Jack for advice on a number of occasions, the latest being for advice on navigating our new partnerships going forward with the ACC and the Big Ten. Jack always told me to believe in our brand and never think small, and I've tried to follow through on that. To Rutgers University, from Tim and K-Mac, now to Julie, Jason, and Coach Flood, you've showed an unwavering support of our football program from the very beginning. And as an organization, we will always be there for you and hope that you continue to play many games at Yankee Stadium and consider this your second home. And to Coach Kelly, without your love of Yankee Stadium and New York City, this would not have all been possible. You also have been there with us from the very beginning on this journey, and we appreciate everything you've done for us and are thrilled to have you here for the New Era Pinstripe Bowl this year. I also want to thank a few other people who are here today. Nick Carparelli in the back. If it wasn't for the American Athletic Conference, I'm not sure we would have a bowl here today. You worked with me from the beginning, gave us counsel and guidance, and were there for any question we had, and were always supportive. And for that, we'll always be in deep gratitude to you. Bob Mulcahy, former athletic director at Rutgers. Your counsel and advice has been priceless to me. No matter what the situation, no matter what time I call you, you're always there for me. And I appreciate that. And you're not only a business associate, but a very good friend. Lon acknowledged a few people before, but I wanted to also say that to Bowl Director Emily Hamel and my personal guru, John Mosley, who I wasn't going to allow back from South Bend until he told me we could get a deal done, both of you are truly the air beneath my wings, and I appreciate everything you do for me. CFO Scott Krug, Allison, and Senior Vice President Michael Tusiani, you are simply the best at what you do, and thank you. To New Era, Chris Cook had a vision with us 5 years ago, and he said to me, Mark, I'm doing this because I know what the Yankee organization will make this bowl into, and someday this will be one of the top bowls in the country, and I'm with you all the way. And we're on our way, and I appreciate everything you've done. And finally, to Randy and Lon, you've always allowed me to think big, and I appreciate that, or this never would have been accomplished. We have a great week of activities. It's going to be very exciting. From Christmas evening at Radio City Music Hall, ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, a welcome reception at our beautiful Legends Club with the field lit up, visiting the Empire State Building and Ground Zero, our president's reception at our brand new NYY Steakhouse in Midtown, personal visits by the teams to the Memorial Sloan Kettering Pediatric Unit and the clinic with the Kips Bay Boys Club, and of course the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. It's going to be absolutely another fabulous week for everyone who's part of the game. I hope everyone comes out. We're hoping for a sellout. And most of all, I want to thank everyone who's here today for attending this great event. And to Notre Dame and Rutgers, thank you for accepting our offer. We're thrilled to have both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We'll open up the floor now to questions. We have 2 wireless mics on the side of John, if you could raise your hand there, and Pete. Billy and Rob, if we can set up the mics for the members of our dais. Members of our dais, you don't have to get up. The mic will be provided to you. For our media members, if you have a question, please kindly raise your hand and wait for the mic. Once you do receive the mic, please state your name and affiliation before proceeding with your question. Questions for our dais this morning? You're showing, all right?
This is for Coach Flood. What kind of a recruiting opportunity is this to be able to play a game in New York City Christmas weekend?
I think every bowl game is a chance to extend your season, an opportunity for every player that you're recruiting, not just the current seniors, but the juniors and the younger players, to give them just one more chance of exposing them to your program and how you play football, your brand as a football program. To do that in New York City on the greatest stage against one of the most storied programs, probably the most storied program in the history of college football, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us.
Thank you, Coach. Next question. Any further questions? Yes, sir, in the middle.
Matt Halatic, Rivals.com. This is for Coach Kelly. Coach, with your experience coaching against Rutgers from your time at Cincinnati, just was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, what you kind of saw from those Rutgers teams then, and what kind of enabled you to have the success you had against them, and if you see what you see from this year's Rutgers team.
Well, if we play in Tampa Bay, we would probably be, a lot better suited. I mean, it's a totally different football team. Greg Schiano was the head coach there. Different structure offensively, different structure defensively, different players. We're running a totally different offense and defense than when we did at Cincinnati. So really won't gain any advantage from, prior knowledge relative to our matchups in the past, other than, just, knowing Rutgers and knowing, the way that those kids play. They play hard, and know Kyle and the way he coaches his kids, they're going to play hard. So I know more about him as the head football coach and the way they're going to play than I do about what we did when I was at Cincinnati.
Thank you, Coach. Bruce, all the way in the back.
Bruce Beck, WNBC TV. This is for both coaches. How important is this week in terms of building to the future of each of your programs, in terms of what you get on the field execution-wise and the extra practices and things like that?
Anytime you get an opportunity to add a practice season to your program, it creates a great opportunity for the younger players in your program. For us, you know, we certainly have a lot of younger players playing, but we also have quite a few that are on the scout teams that now are going to get more opportunities to play within our system at Rutgers, offense and defense and special teams. And I think that serves as almost a springboard into your winter workouts and then ultimately into the spring season where they get a chance to compete.
Yeah, from a bigger picture perspective, you know, you're running a business and an organization for 365 days a year. It would be like that you're closing down the business for a month, and that's not good for business. So you want to stay in business. You want to be able to obviously continue to weight train and condition and continue to practice. You want to continue to build, you know, those relationships. You want to continue to get your younger players some work. So, you know, keeping things open and keeping, you know, things going for that next month is very important to the overall health of your organization.
Roger, over on the left.
Coach Flood, a game against Notre Dame is challenging enough, but you're going to have a bunch of moving parts in terms of your staffing now. Can you describe how much more challenging this is going to be, given that you've got people in new roles?
It certainly creates a little bit of a challenge, but I'm confident that the people are put in positions where they could be successful. And that's really my job as the head football coach, to make sure we've got a coach assigned at every position and then all three phases in the coordinator role that can help us do everything we can to be 1-0 when we face Notre Dame. So certainly you would love to have your entire staff intact, but that's not the reality of our situation right now. But I will not allow that to be a negative as we go forward into the preparation.
Any last questions on the left here?
Dan Doug from NJ.com. Brian, you're talking about how you have like a national roster, but it's a handful of Jersey guys. Can you talk about them and just what they've brought to the program?
Well, that's national too, isn't it, New Jersey? It is for us in South Bend. Yeah, I mean, obviously the East Coast and New Jersey, it's great football, and you know, those guys are excited. Carlo Calabrese in particular, young man that has been so important to our program, is coming back. And Bennett Jackson, who is a starter for us for 3 years now and a captain, both those kids are coming back, and they're really excited. We're going to have to find a way to, you know, get some tickets for them because they were already asking about that. So, you know, that New Jersey, you know, area, New York, New Jersey, is a very important recruiting area for us. So anytime that we get back here, next year we'll be back here again to play Syracuse, MetLife Stadium. So it's a very important area for us. So that's why it's a very attractive place for us to come back and play as well. And just to add on to Kyle's situation with his staff, I just want to let him know, and he's got too many staff members. I coached when I was at Cincinnati. We had 3 staff members, and we coached in the bowl game against Western Michigan. So you got way too many. So and we won that game. So I think he's fine. So I don't think you have to worry about him having not enough coaches. So I think you're in good shape.
Any last questions? If there are no further questions, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. Thank you, gentlemen, on the dais for being here with us today. And just a reminder, this game will be on Saturday, December 28th, scheduled for a noon kickoff, and it can be heard and seen on ESPN. Thank you guys for being here.